Let's have a look at XRP. So I'm zooming out onto the daily at the moment. Let's go to the weekly just to see what's going on with price action. You can see the 20 EMA here, the white line. It's getting tested for 2 weeks in a row, and the VWAP is pushing down. And on this larger consolidation pattern here, again you can see the drop, the lift back to set a range, the lower low, higher high, not the lower low here, but a low, and we can back up to test the higher volume range resistance, and again now we're back testing the 20 EMA on the weekly. Yeah. So now when we go into the daily, we can see that yesterday we broke through the 20 EMA in the daily, we back tested. It left it till the last couple of hours of the day to get this nice long red candle, well, reasonably red candle. Most of the day it was green, and we're bouncing off the 50 SMA on the daily today as a back test again, and we nearly came down to the 55 here. So we got to see what's going on. Let's look in a little more. Yeah. Generally, we have a ascending channel here, and you can see there was a breakout of it yesterday. So potentially, and again, here's this long-term support and resistance line. More resistance line. Yeah. So let's see if we're going to go and back test this line again at 40.11. It may top out here and continue on down. We'll have a look at the MAs as we go along. Yeah. And we'll see what's going on here. Yeah. But it may go back test. It may go back up higher to the 40 mark. And again, is the previous consolidation range that I pointed out there was this bigger one here. Okay, so we can zoom in to this one here in a smaller time frame, and again you can see we got the drop down, we got the lift back up to set the range, we get a lower low, we get a higher high, and again at the moment it seems like we're in a reversal for a move to the downside. Yeah. There could be another push up. This higher high could go higher, so there's still the space for that next lift up for sure. But at the moment is we're testing the range for a reversal. That's what it looks like to me, especially the longer this goes on. So we're breaking out of this descending channel at the moment. Yeah, you can see on this, within this range here, is again it's come back from the higher volume range, and it's back testing the point of control here. Yeah, so again it starts to break below this. Again we get the next move down. Yeah. So we also broke. Where is it here? Here. You can see there's a very strong support and resistance line at 39.60. Again, we broke it yesterday, and we're back testing again. Is if this begins to move proper into it, is the target is 30, 35, 60, 30, 36 or so. Yeah. A lot of times you can see it moves through this space pretty fast once it commits to it. Yeah. So we'll see. Potentially, again, you can see this long-term, this yellow support line here as well, and this goes all the way back to the this is the bottom of the last bear market. So I'm still banging the drum with regards. There's still a strong chance that we go down and touch this line again, and you can see that basically the triangle that price action is moving into. Yeah, so it's getting tighter and tighter, and eventually not too far away now, we'll have our breakout. And there's the 4th of March. Where are we now? There's the 7th of February. Definitely this could drag on for another couple of weeks, going sideways with a movement up and down in a range before we get a proper move. Yeah. So now when we zoom in even tighter, so there's this pattern where on this consolidation range, the drop, the lift resets at top, lower low, higher high. So we've hit the higher high, from then we've done a bottom again, we've come back up and tested this range. If we get rejected off this range, it's a strong suggestion that we're going for another low, yeah. And this is on the longer time frame. When we zoom into this smaller one here, again, it looks at this range higher high. If we start to break down again, there's a strong indication that we're coming for a lower low, a low if not a lower low. Again, yeah, so it's quite important that if price action wants to keep continuing up, this is the decision point between, are we going to head down and start to set another level down, or are we bottomed out? Yeah. So when we zoom in even closer, again you can see the descending channel here. You can see the ascending channel here. And then when we zoom in, and this is like a consolidation on a 1 hour. Again, look, you see the lift here. Excuse me, you can see the drop. Comes back up and sets a range. Comes down and hits a lower low. Now I'm mindful about the way I'm reading this, because here was a consolidation range here and it broke up, yeah. So yeah, it could a drop here and this is set in the range, or potentially a drop here and this is set in the range. Comes down, does a lower low, comes back up, back tests again. We could be coming for a higher high. We could be coming for a higher high here and coming up and testing even higher to the 42 again. Yeah, 42.50 even. We could be doing that. But equally is we may have set the range here, gone for a lower low, attempted to go for a higher high, and it's failed. It's failed, and now we are back below the low volume support here, this blue line, yeah. So you can see we broke it. We're back testing it at the moment. Again, if this fails, then it's starting to look like we're going to start to head down for the 36 range, yeah. So you can see where we are now, right in that blue line is testing it, yeah. Again, we may get a back test to the ascending channel line here as well, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. When we zoom in to the daily, okay, and the daily turned last night, yeah. So let's have a look. Let me just take off some of the drawings here so we can just see the MAs, yeah. So yesterday there was a back test to the 20 EMA. You can say that that's a significant turn down on the 20 EMA here. Yeah, it's a proper turn down. Is the 5, the orange, and the 10, the blue MAs. Yesterday, when price action was pushing up, they were above the red line. As it was coming down, it came below it. This is a proper breakthrough of the 5 and 10 of the 20 EMA with the 20 EMA, the white line turning down. So the 1 hour is going for it at the moment, so to speak. The 1 hour is putting proper pressure for a push down. Yeah, it broke through the 200 MA here and it's bouncing off the 50 SMA at the moment. So it's back to, and then this is the 55 EMA. So you can see there's a lot of support here that is pushing through. Yeah. but it's definitely going for it. Now, when it back tested yesterday, let's see what it hit off, because this is important. You can see on the 2-day it back tested to the 5, and that's why late yesterday there was such a strong push down, because it come up and hit this, and then the reaction was a strong push down again, testing the 20 EMA on the 2-day. But equally it did the same with the 5 on the 5 MA on the 3-day. Back test rejection and a push down. Yeah. Again, you can see the 10 is supporting here a lot. So the resistance, the turn of the MAs, the resistance is getting stronger, but the support is equally just as strong. Yeah. And here's the 4-day. I'd mentioned this yesterday as well. The 4-day, the 5 and the 4-day is taking a turn. And again, anytime you see the 5 and the 4-day take a turn, it's generally a significant turn. It does create movement to a trend change. If you think about between the dailies and the weeklies, the 4-day is midweek. When you get the 4-day turning, it's basically telling you that at least half the days of the week have turned with price action. Yeah. But equally, the 5 looks like it's willing to be resistance here as well on the 5-day. So I don't want to go into them for too much. Yeah. Let's have a look at the last one to turn was the 10-hour 15 minutes ago. Let's have a look what that's doing. Yeah. So on the dailies, is the 5 has come down on them, and not the dailies, on the hourlies, like the 4-hour, the 6-hour, the 8-hour, 10-hour. It is the 10-hour. Look, the 5 is coming down there, so you can see that it's get very close to getting exhausted. Equally, the 12-hour. 12-hour is doing the same thing. 12-hour has a bit more life in it. The 5 still has space to move before it gets exhausted. Yeah, but you can see there's a culmination coming. It's getting very close. It's getting very close to exhausting itself here before it's going to have to reset, and all the hourlies are going to have to reset. So what do I mean by that? Is here's the stock, yeah. So top left is 5 minute, 15, half hour. There's the hour again coming back to the top. There's the 2-hour floating in the middle here. Here's the 3-hour taking a bit of a breather. Now these guys were bottomed out, so these are coming up pretty fast. Even the 4-hour here is coming up and catching a breather. We could get another turn down on the 4-hour, and we get that push down, yeah, because that's what's happened. That's what's happened on the daily. Is this move here was the reversal, this little lift, and this turn is this turn down now is this push down, yeah, and it has the support of the 2-day, 3-day, the 4-day. You see the 2 days come back in from overbought, 3 days come back in. You can see that there's the 5-day down here, 6-day topping out, 7-day. Again, the weekly here is moving very fast back to the top, yeah. So, but you can see that the 4-hour is catching a breather here, back to the hourlies. When we go to the 6-hour, again, look, see the 6-hour is bottoming out, so you can see that exhaustion of the 5 MAs. So there's the 8-hour down. So the 5 MAs and these guys are getting exhausted. And normally when these guys get exhausted like this, you're going, okay, look, it's going to take a turn up, and they're going to need to reset to the top. And for sure they will, but it seems like, look, the 10-hour here still has a push or two in it. And look at the RSI down here. The 10-hour RSI looks like this is the time where it's going to bottom, yeah. My apologies, that's the 12-hour. The 12-hour. Even more so, making my point. The 12-hour looks like it still has a bit of push in it. And equally, the 18-hour, the RSIs need to bottom, yeah. And as I said yesterday, in the last couple of days, back in the hour now, or the daily on the top left, the daily looks like the RSI is. I don't know whether this push down. I don't know whether it'll bottom out now on this push, or whether it'll get exhausted, it gets a lift up, and then has another push down for 26. It may do that. Yeah, it may do that. I don't know. but there is a concerted effort to get that push down. But you can see the RSIs are bottoming out and getting exhausted. So at some point pretty soon, it will need to come up and get a reset. So it's just a question of back to this chart. And remember, I've been showing you this chart for a bit now. Is that we're in this sideways pattern here. This is on the 1 hour. We're in this sideways pattern here again, and again you can see there's quite a few lifts and dips, but within a range. Lifts and dips within a range, and what we're looking for is when we start to look down here, we're starting to look for the hourly RSI to start to come down towards the orange line here. So here's where the oversold is, yeah. And I've back tested the history of this, and I've gone through the different levels when it goes into the oversold. So on the bottom here, it doesn't go as deep as it does go high. So when it hits the orange line here, it's a pretty significant push down. The red line is really, really strong. It doesn't hit the red line very often at all. So, but you can see the orange line here as part of this phase comes to the yellow. There's an orange on this one here. You can see there's an orange one, a bunch of yellow ones, nearly a couple more orange ones. You can see going sideways here, it breaks through the yellow. And here's a solid break through the orange here. But now here we are back in this consolidation. And again, since it topped out here, you can see there's been a couple of tests of the yellow line, yeah. So again, potentially is we may have that bigger move towards the orange line, possibly, and then once we have that, is what we'll be looking for then is now this lift up where the hourly RSI starts to head up towards the red line here, yeah. So that red line here, you can see it's not a very big move in price action. Equally here is it's not a very big move. It's not actually, this is big enough. It's not a huge move in price action, but what it's setting up is the dump. The dumps are far more significant. So if this is going to dump, I'm still expecting a bit of a push down here, potentially, and then again that push up on the hourly for the touch up of the red line here, or thereabouts, yeah. So that's what I'm looking at the moment. You can see the 50 breaking through the 200 here. Again, these the EMAs, and so again there's a strong push down. It may even want to back test. Price action may even want to back test up to the 50 here at 39.93, and see if there's more continuation later on today. Excuse me. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell with the will the stock RSI on the earlier hours take over and need to go for that bigger reset, or will the later hours and the dailies continue to put the pressure down and basically do something like yesterday? Is that yesterday there was an initial bit of a push down, and then there was a strong lift back up. Mostly yesterday was green, and then the last couple of hours of the day, again we got that final push down. Yeah. So we'll see what way this wants to play out today. Yeah. So that's my thoughts. That's my thoughts. If you're looking for a trade entry, if I go back to the hour, actually maybe I'll go here and go back to the hour. There was a sweet entry here yesterday. Mahalavan, a very nice entry here yesterday. Now looking at this, looking at this potentially again, here it is back testing the 50. You can see where the, actually my apologies, I got an entry here yesterday on this swivel here, very, very nice. Is you can see it's back testing to the 50 again. So again, we got to see, and here's the top of the Bollinger. So we've got to see what this wants to do here, how this behaves here. Yeah. You can see there's a proper turn on the 5 and 10, and again it's getting above the 20s here. And just as a reminder, you can see on the 12 hour, the 5 MA is here. There's the 5 MA on the 10 hour. Here's the 10 here at 40.23. Here's the 5 on the 9 hour at, again, 40.16. So it may come all the way back here, yeah. So now I'm just flicking back to the 2 hour. I'm just looking to see how much of there's the 5 and the 2 hour taking a turn. Now, interestingly, while the 5 on the 2 hour is coming up, you look at the 10 on the 2 hour is dipping down. So the 20 here, the pink one is the MA, the white one is the EMA. And they're not budging so much on the 2 hour, yeah, at the moment. Let's have a look at the 3 hour. Again, you see the 5 and the 3 hour had an opportunity to take a turn there, and it hasn't at the moment. And it's coming back up and testing the, let's see which one this is, the 200 EMA at the moment. And again, here's the 20s at around 40. So let's go to the 4 hour. And again, here's the 5 and 10 on the 4 hour. And here's the medial line on the 4 hour. Yeah. So since this took a spill down on the 4 hour, you can see the medial line here, the center line of the Bollinger Band, tested the medial line, and again got a spill down at the end of the day yesterday. Back up testing the medial line again. And again, here's the 20 EMA and the 55 EMA. So we'll see. We'll see how far this wants to go. Yeah. And again, just flicking back to the 10 hour. Yeah, the 10 hour. And then I'm going to go to the 12 hour. Here's the 5. Yeah, again, I think it will be interesting to see how price action behaves with the 5 MA on the 12 hour. It's going to turn in 90 minutes, and we'll see if this has the strength to hold price action and then push it back down, yeah. Or whether the rest of the day will be green and continuation up, or it stops at the 12 and we get that push back down, yeah. When I have a quick look back at the stock again, the hour top right is again coming back to the top. The 2 hours in the center, we want to start to see them start to take a turn again. The RSI on the 1 hour, you can see it bottomed out here, bottomed out again. There's a strong chance that the 1 hour, I'd say two ways. We might want to go back to the top again, or again, if it's a continued pressure down, is that we can have a couple of touches on the bottom like that. It doesn't happen too often, yeah. But the pressure from the dailies is pretty strong. And then equally, bottom left on the second here, the blue box. This is the 3 hour. Again, these are up. You can see the 3 hours trying to turn. You can see the 3 hour trying to turn here. And again, there's a bit of a push up. So what's happened here is, yesterday, I'll show you now. Go to the 3 hour. Actually, I'll do it here because you can see both. I'll just go to the 3 hour. So you can see here on the 3 hour, yeah, is the bottom of this, the bottom of this RSI here. You can see where the RSI bottomed out here. So the RSI bottomed out here. There it is there. That's that candle there. And since that, look, the RSI is coming up. But you can see since this bottom here on price action it's gone down, it's gone up, it's gone lower, lower, and it's coming back up again. So you can see while the RSI on the 3 hours coming up here is price action, for the most part, is took a swing down, took a swing up, done a lower low, and again it's back center again. Yeah. The point I'm trying to make though is that the RSI is resetting itself while price action is actually taking a lower low, and again it's doing another lift here again. Yeah. So you can see that the pressure for the down is quite strong. Yeah. Now you can see also here there's bearish, or sorry, bullish divergence on the 3 hour. Yeah. So you see how difficult it is to read is the hourlies. If we go to this here, the hourlies, here's the divergences. Yeah. So top right is the 1 hour. See a bullish divergence there, 2 hour bullish divergence, 3 hour bullish divergence, 4 hour little bullish divergence there. Let's see if it's got it on the 6 hour. Just out of curiosity. No, not the 6 hour. Now, bottom right here, this is the daily. So look at the bearish divergence on the daily as it's pushing through. Oh, sorry, that's the 12 hour pushing through. To me, it looks like the 12 hour RSI wants to bottom out here. It's practically there. Yeah, is the daily, again bearish divergence. Now, when we go to the 2 day, again look at that strong bearish divergence on the 2 day. So we're getting bullish divergences on the smaller time frames. Not on the 3 day. I think I saw it on the 4 day or the 5 day. Yeah, the 4 day has a bearish divergence. Did I see it on the 5 day? No. There you go. It's actually bullish divergence on the 5 day. So you can see that the dailies are really are pushing down for the reversal. Is the hourlies are pushing strongly, but they're getting exhausted, and then the later hours on the day is they're pushing down and exhausting themselves as well. So it's back to that question: is can the dailies and the later hours, where will their bottom finish? Where will the 12 hour finish? Like, here we go. The question I'm asking myself is, for sure it looks like the RSI and the 12 hour bottom right here wants to bottom out before this push down will be done and it gets a breath up. Yeah, it needs to reset. So the question is how long will that take? Where will price action finish up by the time the 12 hour gets down? And can the dailies keep applying pressure to the earlier hours so that potentially the daily bottoms out as well? So this is my last thought. Is back to this chart for simplicity. Yeah, you can see that on this chart as price action. You see it on this chart as well. Easier here. Yeah. So this is the daily. Is the RSI and the daily is pushing and pushing to the bottom. Is if the RSI and the daily bottoms out and price action gets around to the 37, 36 mark and it bottoms out, that's a strong indication that there's a good possibility of a pump up, a breakout to the upside. So it's just a question of where does, by the time the daily RSI bottoms out, where is price action, and how much support has it got through? So that's what I'm looking at. If the daily gets down here and bottoms out, then the daily is going to want to reset back to the top, and then that's the question of, well, what does that mean? How much movement will that create for that to happen? Yeah. So they're my thoughts. So back to a potential trade. I'd watch the 1 hour. I'd watch the 1 hour, and I'd watch watch the 1 hour because I do believe the pressure is still on for a down. Yeah, I don't think it's done yet. So I'd be watching for a reversal around here. Yeah. If price action starts to break the 55 here, back test and starts to move on up, okay, then it looks like we're heading back up to 42. Yeah. But I do believe that it will reverse here somewhere along the way. So I'd be watching for a 1 hour reversal. Yeah. Now it happened pretty fast here. So I'll be watching this again quite closely. Yeah. I'm gonna see what it's going to do. I don't have specific targets at the moment. I'm just watching to see how it behaves, and equally, potentially time-wise, when is this going to happen? There's a good chance it will be around the turn of the 12 o'clock. So in the next, my time is 12:30. So OTC, it's 90 minutes away. So I would say potentially there could be a short trade in the next 2 to 3 hours. Yeah. We got to watch to see how that plays out. Okay, if it breaks through, then again potentially then there's a long trade in the offing. Yeah, and it's all very much in a tight space. Like look, you can see it's all very much in a tight space at the moment. Yeah. So that's me for now. Enjoy the rest of your day.